I'm Tempest Bradford, and this is the Right Gear video part of the podcast. So, as you know, I am the host of the Right Gear podcast, where we talk about technology and analog stuff that writers used to write, all of our writing tools. So, today I want to talk to you about my favorite thing, which is journals. So, one of the reasons why I'm talking about these particular journals right here is because I had to go to all kinds of, I don't even know how to explain it, but I have had so much trouble finding these journals. I have been a journal person since I was pretty young. I have journals actually going all the way back to elementary school, middle school, something around there. And I think it's because somebody was like, "You're gonna be a writer. You have to write in some journals." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna be a writer, so I'm gonna write in some journals." So I had journals, and I, would variously pick them up. And sometimes I'd be like, "I'm gonna write about my day." And sometimes I'd be like, "I'm gonna have deep observations about life," whatever. But around the time I was exiting college and getting more serious about being a professional writer, I actually was starting to use my writing journal in a really specific way, writing down like my ideas for stories, writing down scenes. For a while, I was writing all of the stories that I wrote longhand first before typing them up, and so all that stuff went in my journals too. I don't do that as much anymore, but I do use my journals like in a very specific way in my writing process, which I'll talk about on the podcast. But that's not for right now. Right now, I'm going to talk about specifically what I love about the journals that I use. All right, so this journal right here. This journal is made by C.R. Gibson. It's from the Markings line of journals. It has everything that I love about journals in one place and is incredibly hard to find for me. So, first, my journals must be spiral bound. I can only do spiral bound. Perfect bound does not work for me because even if you get like the perfect bound or the stitch bound or whatever ones that aren't spiral, and they lay flat like this, which is yay, but they don't do this. And that is what I need my journals to do because sometimes I am not in a place where I have enough room for this whole thing to be laying flat like this. I need it to lay flat like this, so I take up less space. And you might say, well then, Tempest, why don't you just get a smaller journal? I'll tell you why. Because when you get a tiny journal, your hand hangs off the end of it way too soon, and you can't, and you fill up all these pages, and your hand gets all cramped, and it's weird. So it has to be like a certain size for it to be like to keep my hand from writing off the end of it or whatever, which is super annoying. This journal is 8 by 10, and that includes actually the spiral bound, I think. So it's like 7.5 by 10 paper size, and that's about right for me. I can go a little bit smaller. I can do like 9 by 7 or so. Even I might even be able to go like 8.5 by 7, but mostly it's like between 9 and 10, between 7 and 8. Those are my dimensions that I like, and so that's what this is. The other thing I need is ruled pages. Ruled pages. Lines. I need lines. I know that not every writer appreciates lines in their notebooks because they kind of want to freeform it, and that's totally cool. For me, I need lines. And I have actually discovered that most of the really good spiral bound hardcover things that are out there are without lines, and it drives me insane because I'm like, I need lines. What are you doing to me, sketchbook? Anyway, so lines. I also don't necessarily like having any kind of pattern on the inside of my journals, but I'll deal with it as long as the pattern isn't too overwhelming. Also, these lines are green, which is again like not optimal. I prefer just plain old black. But this green is not an obnoxious color. But I came across one journal recently where there was like a border around every page that was pink and all the lines were pink, and it was just like too much pink. And I'm like, come on, we're not all in the world Lisa Frank here. Get over it. Make some black lines. Keep us. So anyway, lines, not too many crazy things on the insides in terms of decoration or whatever. No decoration at all is like really super my preference, but I'll deal with a little bit of decoration as long as it's not overwhelming or getting in the way or full of sayings. No journals with sayings. That ain't okay. The other thing I really need is hard covers. So nice and thick. They're usually just cardboard, reinforced cardboard. That's fine. Nice and thick reinforced cardboard. Can't deal with the leather. I'm super sorry. And it's mainly because I don't want to also have to be bound to like putting it on a table. I can put this on my lap and deal with it. I can sort of hold it up and write on it like this. Whatever. and I need like that hardcover. It also protects it because I throw this in my bag, I throw this in my backpack. It's getting jumbled around. It's like things are always happening with this thing, and I need it to be sturdy and not fall apart on me at at the lightest wisp of whatever. So hardbound, lines, little to no decoration, and the paper quality has to be good. That is one thing that I have noticed that many journals overlook in a major way is paper quality. And I really truly believe that it's because a lot of journal makers are pretty convinced that nobody's actually using their journals. Like somebody buys a journal, they're like, look at this beautiful design of the journal. I love it. I'm gonna buy this journal and I'm gonna write about my life. And then they get it and they write about their life for like 2 days, and then they're like, I'm not gonna write about my life today. And then they stick it under their pillow, and then they stick it under the bed, and then they never see that journal again. And then 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years down the line, they're like, oh, I want to write about my life because my life is so interesting. Or I heard somewhere that if you write things about your life in a thingy, then you'll become a better person. Or I want to be a writer or write, so I'm going to get a journal. And so they do the whole thing all over again. They write it for 2 days, and then whoop. And so they're not really actually paying attention to the quality of the paper and how the pen bleeds through the paper and you can see it on the other side. It's just so good paper quality is very, very, very important. The other thing that is really nice is when it comes with a little strap to keep it together. I mean, that's not necessary, but that's a nice thing about these particular notebooks that I have. So all of those things all in one kind of journal, do you know how hard it is to find that? Let me tell you, it's super hard. As a matter of fact, last year when I was here in Florida, I bought this journal. This is a lovely journal. I love it. And I found it. I was like, oh, squee, this is a really cool journal. I found it at Staples. I was like, this is great. It has all the things that I like about journals in one journal. Love it. Gonna buy it. Woohoo! As I started getting to the end of this journal, I was like, oh, gonna need a new journal. I'll just bop on over to the Staples and no journal. No journal. Okay. Well, I'll just bop over to the Walgreens because I've seen other journals from this maker, the C.R. Gibson markings. See that at the Walgreens. Let me just there's not at the Walgreens. Office Depot, Office Max, Target, Walmart. Nothing. Then I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just go on the internet, which I really don't like to do because I like want to hold things and grab them and then buy them. But whatever. I went on the internet and I'm like, okay, fine. I'll go to the C.R. Gibson website and buy this journal. This journal is not listed on the C.R. Gibson website. Let me tell you something. When you go to the C.R. Gibson website and you look for journals that are spiral bound, they give you some sizes and none of them are 8x10. They're over in the perfect bound or whatever you want to call the other binding, the non-spiral binding. They have the 8x10, but not in the spiral. And I'm like, why? So I look up the like on the back, there's a number, an item number. Look that up. Not available anywhere on the internet. I finally find one on Amazon after all sorts of keyword searching and scrounging through things. I find one that looks to be about the same size as this and the same quality and whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. But then I look at the picture of the inside of the thing, and it's like got, like a flower that's all coming up all over the page and everything. I'm like, it's the worst. It's not okay. So after many months of flipping out because I can't find the journal that I want and going and looking at other journal maybe things that I could have, and I even went to the Japanese bookstore Kinokuniya, and I found the journal that I had used before this one, which was okay, but it wasn't all that I wanted, and plus the paper wasn't that good. And I was like, oh, I can't go back to paper that bleeds through. I can't see the. So I was very upset and crying and sad. Then I came back to Florida. By the way, this is Florida behind me. Beautiful, sunny Florida. It is January, and this is our beautiful, sunny Florida-ness. Let me tell you, the sky is blue. There are beautiful clouds moving across the sky. Be jealous. Florida's amazing in the winter. So anyway, I come back to beautiful Florida in the winter, and I'm like, oh, it's so sad. I can't find my journal anymore. I found it here, and then I was like, well, I got to go to Staples anyway because I got to get another thing. And then I go to the journal aisle being like, well, whatever. I'll look, but I'll just be disappointed. And lo and behold, what did I find? This was just sitting there. And I'm like, where are there more? I need more because I'm going to buy all of them. There's only one. And I was like, but I bought it because, I bought it and I was going to have it. And then I was like, I just have to find out why it is that I can't have this anymore. And I was going to email people and everything. Then I went to Target to get another thing, and I was like, let me just look because there was two of them in the Target. I have looked in every Target and Staples and Office Depot and every other place where I could conceivably find journals for months in many different cities, and they have not been there. They only exist in this part of Florida for me. It's magic. I think it's because I'm supposed to come to this part of Florida every year when I need a new journal. But that's okay because look what I get when I come to Florida. I get a princess. So basically, Florida is the best place to buy journals. So tell me what you like in journals because clearly I'm the only one who likes this specific kind of journal because that's why the universe has decided to only put them in this one place. Clearly, other people like other things in journals. So, tell me, what do you like in a journal? What kind of binding do you like? What kind of paper do you like? What are the sizes that are your favorite? Do you like lined or unlined? All the different things that make journals awesome for you, I would like to know. So, this has been K. Tempest Bradford with my awesome journal that I can only get in one place in the universe. And now it's time for you to go write something in your journal.